is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Cook a Cartea recipe video. Look, I thank y'all for coming back and tuning in and showing all the love and support that y'all always do. Look, y'all already seen that thumbnail, so need I say more? Y'all see what we got going on today. Y'all see these ingredients, very few. We got some seasonings on the side that we're gonna use, but look, it's very few. Because that's just what it is. It's very few ingredients to be used. It's a real easy recipe, but I promise you it's going to be delicious if you try. Now, like I said, y'all seen in that thumbnail, today we're going to be making red beans and rice. Now look, one of the most popular places, locally, commercially, to get that red beans and rice. If you ever had Popeyes, you love that chicken from, yep, you already know. So today, we're going to be making that red beans and rice. We're going to go ahead and dive into these ingredients and dive into what we need to do. We need to do a little bit of prep, very little prep, and we're going to get right into the cook. We got a jalapeno pepper right here just to add a little extra kick. You know, red beans and rice is that Cajun. So you need that heat, that spice on there. Yeah, that Louisiana. We got that jalapeno pepper. You can use serrano pepper if you want to. We got a white onion right here. We got some... we got chicken sausage right here. And then, of course, we got our star. We got the light red kidney beans right here. And then also, like I said, we got some spices on the side. We're going to be using that Creole kick today. You use whatever Cajun seasoning you into. But just make sure it's that Cajun seasoning because you need that Cajun flavor. Look, we got a jalapeno pepper right here. We want to dice those up pretty fine. Within this, you don't want, you know, jalapeno peppers, they're not really hot. But you still don't want nobody to take too big of a bite of these, so we're going to dice these up kind of fine. We got one onion. For this serving size that I'm doing, I'm only going to use half of the onion. We got our onions right here, about a half of onions. We got our onions right there. We got our jalapenos right here, diced up real fine, like I said. And then we got our chicken sausage over here. Now, we cubed those up, diced those up too, because, again, you don't want to overwhelm it with the bite sizes of anything because, you know, you just want to think of a reasonable bite size. So we just cubed those chicken sausage up. So look, like I said, everything is going to happen right here in this pot. Got our pot right here. We're going to get up to about a medium, low medium heat. Let's go ahead and get some oil in there. And then we're going to start with our onions. Let those onions start to cook down, get fragrant, soft, translucent. That's exactly what we want. So we're going to start those off first. So we're on a low medium right now. We're just building up to that medium heat. Now we're going to go ahead, let's get our finely diced jalapenos in there. We want to get those in there. Once we start to get that softness on the onions, because the jalapenos, you know, they diced up real fine, so it's not going to take those real long at all to, you know, start to release those flavors like we want them. So we're just going to work those in. Boom, let those do their thing. And start to add in the rest of our ingredients. We're going to add in some garlic paste. You can add in minced garlic, or you can add in garlic cloves diced up. We're going to add that paste in there. Start to release its flavor and combine with the vegetables. As that is doing that and getting combined, we're going to go ahead and come in with those chicken sausage. Get those in there. Y'all see those pieces. Y'all see how those pieces looking in there. So that's what we want. Now if you even want to go further to cutting them, you know, smaller, go ahead. Kind of mix all these flavors in. And with the sausage, the onion, the jalapeno, let that work. Now mind you, the chicken sausage is pre-cooked already. It ain't like it's raw. It's pre-cooked. So, you know, they really just need heat on them. But, you know, sometimes I want to get a little char on them. because you know that char is bringing flavor. So now we at a point we're gonna go ahead and add in our light red kidney beans. Now I went ahead and drained that juice out of there because you know I don't want none of the juice. We're gonna add in some chicken broth, so you know we're gonna bring back, you know, the liquefying aspect. We don't want none of the juice out of the can. Now let's come up, make sure we up to a medium. And the goal here is, of course, you know, we want to start to let these cook down, get some good heat on them. Let them soften up. Combine all these flavors. And then as the beans start to get softer, we're going to start to kind of like mash them in. You know, not all of them to where it's like a refried bean looking texture. But I'm going to show y'all, we're going to start to like, you know, just mash some of them up so we can get that saucy kind of red bean and rice, you know what I'm saying, texture and element going on. Now we to the point where we can go ahead and start getting in our seasonings. So we're going to come in with our all-purpose seasonings, you know, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. You don't got to go too crazy with the garlic powder because, mind you, we already put that garlic paste in there. Then we're going to throw the oregano in there. And then we're going to make sure that we get that Creole kick or whatever Cajun seasoning you want to use. We're going to start off with a little bit. Working something real nice here, y'all. Smelling good. And now we bring in chicken broth. So get these, you know, up to about 5 minutes, you know, just let the flavors marry, get together, do their thing. And then we're gonna finish this off. All right, y'all, so now, look, we bring that heat down, you know, we use that about a high medium. We bring it down to like a low medium because the cook from this point on is pretty much done. So, you know, you can kind of leave it as somewhat of a simmer. We got that softness texture in the beans that we want. So now, really, this is what I'm talking about, or what I was explaining earlier. What you want to start to do is you want to start to mix. And this is also how you know that the beans are at its, you know, the softness point that you want. The texture that you want is as you start to mix, you kind of want to bring some up along the edges, and you kind of just want to mash them in. Now, like I said, you don't want to mash all the beans fully, but you really just want to kind of mash them in until you get, you know, maybe like a quarter to half of the serving, that red beans and rice texture. So, like I said, the cook is done. We done cooking. All we doing now is just technique. You're just gonna keep bringing it around. Every time, you know, you stir around, you just come up on the side and just mash. You still kind of want that texture and integrity of some beans in there. You don't want it to just be all mashed up. We all done. Got those red beans and rice. This is what we want. Everything combined looking good. We got that texture. So look, we got a nice plate of rice right here on the side of us. Boom. Then we're gonna throw this over. Let's get this on some rice. Plate up. Let's go ahead and see what's to it.